Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back. My voice is a little hoarse because we had a RTAG recording session last night, so it's a little on the hoarse side. Okay, so what do we have here? What is this? This seems like an older version of the sculpt. Where is... Okay, I don't think this is the right project. We're doing the security guard stuff. Okay. There we go. I believe that's it. We'll just double check this. Yeah, okay. It's probably not. So, let me open this guy. I'm gonna save it. Security guard -1. Beautiful. So, we made him. We baked the necessary data. And we have all of our accessories in place, except for the helmet. But what we need to do now is get this guy exported. No rest on Sunday. Maybe not this Sunday. Usually Sundays is when I work on mini games for the website. But yeah, I kind of wanted to mess around with this guy. You know, get some progress done. Okay, so we've got a friend and me, but we also have this guy. So we're gonna set up a rig to give this character some movement and see how it goes. See how we can get it up and running. Now, I guess we can start by setting up an armature. And from what I've seen, there isn't a particular rule to armature controls. It's pretty much about having something that you can use for your project, and every studio more or less has its own approach. Or at least that's what I've been told. So I'm gonna set up the experiment with a rig for the character that is gonna work for me, and we're gonna work with that. So root bone does not deform, and this control bone does not deform. Control. Perfect. Can you explain the UVP engine? UVP is UV Packmaster. It's basically a tool that optimizes the placement of objects on the UV map. So let's say if you select all the faces and do U in Blender, you can unwrap, and this is pretty much as good as you're gonna get, but you can see all of this wasted space around that has too much, well, it's not used. You can use UV Packmaster to optimize the packing, which right now uses about 67%. You can continue doing so, right? Or maybe do some stuff like, well, okay, let's take the largest components first, right? I'm gonna have to make sure that I undo this after. Largest component first, and then pack it all up like this. And then you select the rest of it and say, okay, well, pack the rest of it around it. There we go. Now, before we had 68-something% use space. Now, if we measure, now it's 73%, right? So it optimizes the amount of space your UV's islands are using, so that you can pack as much texture data into the UV space on your texture page. So, yeah, that's basically how it works. Now, I particularly separated hands, face, and body into separate materials so that I can further use up more grant them more texture space. So yeah, that's what it is. Okay, I'm gonna make the whole armature be displayed as wireframe, always on front, and then I'm gonna make it show the axis like this. Why not use Blender's Rigify? Rigify is like super detailed to the point where I don't think I need that much detail because these are game assets. Like the detail of the Rigify rig in Blender has so many bones. Like a lot of bones, way more bones than I'm going to need for this character. And remember that armatures are calculated on in the shader on your GPU side. So if you have a lot of characters with really complex rigs, that's going to cost you performance. I remember in Leadworks, I capped out on this machine at about 3 dozen armatures. So if you want to make a zombie game, you're kind of screwed. Plus, you know, you gotta get some experience making rigs before you can really really take advantage of tools that simplify the process. Okay. So I'm gonna keep this here, more or less in the middle of the character. From this control bone, I'm going to extrude another bone. This is going to be the spine. I'm going to get it to not be connected. And the spine, of course, goes all the way up here, but it is still going to be more or less in the middle of the character. I'm going to subdivide it to 3 times. Spine lower, spine mid, spine top. Hey, Zoltan. Zoltan the Sultan. Okay, this is the head. Okay, now from this control bone, I'm actually going to take this bone here. Oh, let's make sure the transforms take place around the bounding box. And we're going to place it right here. Okay, so this is for the pelvis. We are going to make an extrusion down. Ooh, this is going to be disconnected. I guess I'm going to take care of the left side first. So this is going to go down here. And then it's going to be extruded up to about the ankle, which is technically right around here. So technically we don't need this bone. Although maybe for deformation. Nah, I don't think we need it. So I'm gonna delete this bone. This one is still connected. And then we do need a toes bone because the boot has to, well, it has to displace this way. Okay, our boot ended up being a little crooked, but we'll keep it. Place this here. Place this there to suggest the location of the bend. Fix the ankle location. Okay, now I'm going to get a shoulder bone. Then we're going to put one over here. That's the elbow. Wrist. And then there we go. palm. Shoulder L. Arm upper dot L. Actually, this is dot R. Excuse me. This is from the character's perspective. Arm lower. And then wrist. This is leg upper. Leg lower. This is foot. And this is toes. Somebody going nuts on the emotes again. I see you. Okay. Now, I want to be able to move the shoulder around. So I'm going to actually make this be a child of the spine. What is this? Okay, this is interesting. This is neck for some reason. How did that happen? Huh. Just gonna move this out front a bit. Okay. Control. This is the control. And the control has to be a child of root. Spine lower. Spine mid. Spine top. Now that's more like it. Perfect. Have you managed to bake the high poly? Yes. Yes, it did actually work out pretty well. There we go. Now, I didn't get to bake the ambient occlusion of the helmet onto the face because it would end up basically like full of spots, like dude's got cancer. So we're just gonna have to rely on the engine's ambient occlusion. But I think we did get ambient occlusion from the chest, if I remember correctly. Let's see. I think we did. Yes, we did. There we go. So that allows us to deposit dust and dirt and everything into objects that have close proximity to like crevices and corners. Yeah, that does look really good. I think, you know, having spent a little bit of time away from this model, I'm kind of starting to see the mouth might be a little small, and maybe the eyes are a little too big. But again, like we'll work with this for the time being. You know, I have to make these mistakes anyways in order to learn how to do this right. So the collar ends up you know, casting proper ambient occlusion data too. I'm just gonna dial that back. So yeah, stuff worked out pretty well. So now I need to rig because I want to experiment with setting up animation tree to control. Probably gonna have to give him like a forward shuffle or forward walk, backwards walk, left shuffle, and right shuffle, and then control the upper and lower body through separate animations. But I'm pretty sure it should be fairly doable. Okay. So let's go ahead and set this up. So Mm-hmm. All the state machine jazz. Yep. It's gonna be fun times, but you know, I gotta figure this out anyways. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to figure out how am I going to handle the overall behaviors when there's multiple of these dudes running around. So, you know, they gotta run from cover to cover. They gotta assume assume position behind what chest high walls. Good old classic. The chest high walls have to somehow make a record if they already have somebody around them, so you don't have a bunch of these idiots bunched up behind the same wall. You know? So lots of stuff to figure out. Figure out how to get them to traverse and shoot you at the same time. Which is why we're probably gonna have to do like a dual stick type system control when the character can move in a particular direction independent of their upper body facing that direction. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing a root motion. No, not for this one at least. I don't think that's really necessary. Root motion is cool and all, but I think I'll just work with a system, something of a simpler start, you know. Let's set this to be a child of whoops, not connected. It's got to be a child of root because we're going to be doing inverse kinematics here. Okay. Okay. Thumb, base. Okay. Thumb, mid, thumb, tip. I'm forgetting the labels. I think we should probably make a plugin for naming fingers, considering how much I've been doing that lately. Mid R, tip R, point base, mid, point mid R, point tip R. I feel like for a plugin that names press Control F2. Yeah, well, yeah, but that's not gonna work. That's the you know, the rename, the batch rename option. Um, it's not really aware of, you know, mid, base, and all that jazz. I have a custom naming convention that I use. It's not really aware of it. Free renaming panel add-on is super awesome. Interesting. But making my own plugins sounds more fun, to be honest. Point tip. Middle, base R. Steven, good day. Ring, base R. ring mid R, ring tip R, pinky base R, pinky mid R, pinky tip R. Okay, I think this should be sufficient enough. All this stuff's gonna come in handy when I'm making my own Batman Arkham game. Oh god, my voice. My voice is messed up. Okay, cool. Now that, I think, is just about all we gotta do. Maybe fix the bone roll. That's about it. Let me actually double check. The armature has proper scale. Everything has proper scale. Recalculate roll. Global Y. Nope. Yes. There we go. So X is actually the X. Cool. So all we gotta do is select all of these. Oh. All of these bones. And then we're gonna do symmetrize. Let me actually double check. I might want to move this bone a little bit back just to suggest the direction of bend. Okay. Oh, well, hello. Ah, foot dash R, toes dash R. I could have sworn I had already renamed this. Wait, what? Leg lower, leg upper, foot, toes. All right. Symmetrize. Nope, not subdivide. Symmetrize. There we go. Okay, so this is now called shoulder L, arm upper L. Cool. So anything that doesn't have the naming, the suffix would not have been renamed. So that's good. Okay. And now select pretty much everything here. And then there we go. And that should do it. Okay. Now, of course, some of the stuff is disproportionately paired to the incorrect things. We're just gonna have to fix that up. This is kind of the problem with having clothes as separate geometry, because it's a little messy, you know? It's a little messed up. That's fine, though. Let's continue with the setup of the rig first, and then we'll worry about weight painting, fixing the influences. Okay. I just realized that our foot might actually not benefit from not having a proper bone going down here. I think we may have to change this up. Yeah, we may have to do that. Now it feels a little awkward. Yeah, so it's because once we set up the inverse kinematics, this bone is going to attempt to reach this bone. And if it's not exactly in the same location, we're going to end up with a leg that stretches to reach the bone. And that's not good. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll keep that one to demonstrate the issue. So go to pose mode, grab this leg, and then we're going to give it an IK, inverse kinematics. It's going to move up 2 bones in the chain, and the control bone is going to be foot right. Now this means when I move this, skip it up. Okay. So that is because this bone is being a child of this bone, which is not good. So we need to return to edit mode. And we need to tell this bone to be connected to root. Same thing with this bone. Okay, now nothing else has changed. Now we can do that. Perfect. Well, almost perfect. You can see we have some deformations happening here. These are not deformations I actually want, though. So, I think to fix this issue, we're going to subdivide this bone, and we're gonna put that right there. And I think that should be way better. Now, I have to redo the automatic weights to fix this. Also, yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's go to edit mode. I'm gonna select these, get rid of this. Again, symmetrize it. There we go. And select everything, select the armature, and then recreate automatic weights. Now, back to pose mode. This is foot or ankle. Foot, that's fine. And this is going to be a foot base. Or foot heel. And then this is toes. Okay, so the inverse kinematics is going to have to attach to foot R, which is still the case. There we go. That's much more like it. We do have deformations that we are not really too fond of, but it is what it is. We'll fix it after. Also, it seems like certain things have influence over geometry that they have no business influencing. The cool part is that it seems like the constraints have been copied over. That's pretty cool. Okay. Cool. Insightful talk in Blender conference about game animation. Now that could be handy. It's not GDC though, right? It's like Blender's own conference of some kind. Okay. There we go. So that's what we want. Now, let's get back up here. Let's take a look at setting this with inverse kinematics. And while we're here, we do need to consider the fact that we have to be able to control the elbow. So I'm actually going to set up the elbow bone here. Elbow is supposed to be a control bone. So it's going to be non-deform. Okay. Go back to pose. And we're also going to have a control bone for the knee. So we'll have to do that. So armature, wrist right. See how it like nudged itself to get to the point? And we're going to say the chain only goes up 2 bones. So now we have this. Ooh, Jiggly. Beacon. Let me open the video. Beacon. Okay, I'm getting a lot of Roblox shit. Hold on. Blender. How AAA games animate everything. Okay. Okay. I'll have to keep that in my tabs just to find the proper video afterwards. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Okay. So this is cool, but we also need to set up the pole target, which is that bone. Okay. So when we do this, the elbow should not be a child of the armature of the hand. This needs to be child of root, not connected. Okay. So, go back to pose. Ooh, okay. Interesting. And then here we go. Now the angle doesn't quite look right. So we're going to have to take the armature deform, adjust the pole angle. Right around there. Okay, I'm snapping to stuff. Okay, almost there. There we go. So now that is pointing to that pole bone. That's good. That's good. Okay. So, technically, I should be able to go to edit mode and then select this entire thing. And then once again, symmetrize this. I didn't know that symmetry actually also sets up all the inverse kinematics that you've already set up in the original. So that means I can just do that and be all set to go. Yeah, look at that. And it looks like it also fixes the angle for you. Oh man, that's cool. Because usually when you set up the inverse kinematics on the other hand, the angle has to be flipped because it's on the other side. But not here. This is really cool. Okay, now we are going to prevent the hand from leaving like this by setting up a limit distance. Wrist L. Okay, so now that's not right. The constraint has to be on the wrist. Limit distance from, I guess, from this bone. Or actually, yeah. And then this is going to be shoulder. There we go. There we go. So now we can't move the hand further. Let me reset the transforms so it can do the same thing here. Limit distance. Shoulder right. There we go. Cool. All right. So that looks good. The face is squishing when it looks down and up. Oh god. Yeah. There's gonna be stuff that we have to fix. Okay, so pretty much now that we're done with this, I'm gonna make the bones display as sticks so they don't take up too much time, too much space on the screen. Okay. And now I'm going to do this. Let's go to this geometry. Take the laces. Actually, I think we might have to do just weight painting. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wait, why is there only 1 foot? Right, because it never... Huh. This is the... What? There should be no influence over the left foot. And then this is foot L01. Ah, man. Okay. So when we redid armature deform, it never got rid of the old vertex groups. So I think it might be a wise idea to take all of the geometry, delete all vertex groups. We're gonna have to do it everywhere. This is why you know, make sure you get the proper proper geometry, proper bone structure everywhere set up. Okay. Cool. Let's try that again. Let's go ahead and do this. Cool. Pose mode. Let's take a look. So same thing with the foot. I don't want the foot going anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to catch it right there. Okay, bone constraints, limit distance. Limit it to here. And this is leg upper right. Leg upper... Oh, armature. Whoops. Okay. Come on now. The heck. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now we can save it, go into weight painting. Mm-hmm. Foot right, foot heel. Foot left has to have no influence. We're just going to get rid of these groups. Okay. And then here, same thing. This is specifically for the left. I feel like it makes sense if I name this foot, toes, right. Foot, toes, left. which means I need to do this. Oh, hey, actually, it renamed it automatically for me. Thank you, Blender. I thought I would have to go through every one of these models and rename the vertex group. Beautiful. I think I remember having to do that way, way earlier on. All right, there we go. So this, well, this still has influence over the other thing, though. Because foot. Why did it still say foot 001? What? Okay. Well, now I'm angry. Foot toes. Foot heel. Foot R. Foot L. Leg lower. Leg lower. Foot toes right. Foot toes left. Okay. Right. So, this is left, left, left. There should be no right here. And it seems like it moves the weight data into the nearby objects. So that's fascinating. Let's take a look at this. This is all right, right, right. There should be no left. Okay, so I think it's also reading from upper and lower leg, which is fine. We are going to deal with that. Left, left. This is left, left. Okay. So left, right. We should have nothing on the right side. And yet, there we go. This is left. I think I might have deleted the wrong groups here. This is his right, which means we got to get rid of the left stuff. Okay. This is his left, so we got to get rid of the right stuff. Cool. This bone is non-deform, so it should have no effect. Yes, there we go. Okay, good. Now, we need to fix up just a little bit of weight painting on the foot. This has to be leg lower. We gotta give it a bit of influence. Gets a little bit tricky. Just sub. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, this is a little awkward to paint. You like the life. Well, that's good. That works for both of us. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go into the weight painting here. And we're gonna take a look at the foot right. This is the right side, foot right. Okay, there we go. We need to, oh, okay. Let's be careful now. We need to give it just a touch of influence over there so that it doesn't separate it. And then we're just gonna smooth it out so the influence is a bit more tapered. Okay, now go back here. Let's do this. That is quite a bend, which kind of makes me think maybe we should just drop the ankle down here where it would usually be bent. I may actually just have to do that and see how that plays out. Let's take the pose mode, clear transform all. Let's go to the edit mode. And let's place it right here. Okay. We're going to have to redo this constraint here. There we go. Almost. Why is that different? Why? Why is it different? Okay, so... Right, that makes sense. Because it still uses the old weight painting. So, I don't think we can do weight painting on multiple objects, so we're just going to have to do this. Okay, so... leg lower, right. Now this makes sense. The foot... I need to bend this thing. You know, kind of makes me think that maybe we just have an extra bone that isn't supposed to really be here. Maybe I overcomplicated it. Let's try this. Let's go to the edit mode. And we're going to get rid of this bone. Get rid of this bone. This is going to be moved all the way down here. Okay, and this is foot, heel. Okay. There we go. Now. Oh, excuse me. That needs to be a limit distance track constraint. And then this is leg upper right. There we go. Okay. Now that's... Okay. So that is a lot more like what I expected it to bend in the first place. We just need to go into the edit mode or weight painting mode, and we need to clean some of this stuff. Now, of course, a foot will never bend this much. We're literally looking at an extreme right now. But by pushing it to the extreme, we can kind of see where it is messed up. There we go. That ankle is most certainly non-human. Okay, but let's go back here. So you see we do that. Let's go foot, foot R. Okay, I expected... Oh, foot R is not a thing. Right. We got to work with the heel now. There we go. More or less. Let's smooth it out. Need to like average it out quite a bit. So again, this is quite an extreme bend. It kind of pisses me off that you can't you like this should be painting over the laces. Why can't I reach the goddamn laces? It's such a pain in the ass. There's got to be like an option. Accumulate front faces only. There we go. That's more like it. Now these laces are stretching to shit. What? No. You have exactly zero say of where the laces go, sir. Like, for the most part. Okay, so what's causing this? Oh yeah, that explains it. This kind of makes me think that maybe the laces should have been texture data. Okay. Okay. So that lace stretching out is quite rough. But for now, it's at least not being influenced by the other part, the other leg. Okay, now, gonna go to edit mode, delete these, select the pre-made one and symmetrize. Okay, that still works, although the vertex groups are completely messed up. There's no more foot, there's just foot heel. Okay. Excellent workflow. Nice to see you. Well, thank you. Nice to see you too. Working away slowly, getting it under control. Okay, I'm not entirely sure who has influence over the... Oh god, the laces. Okay, I see. All right, let's go back here. Weight painting. So first of all, leg lower. Oh yes. I think this has maximum control. Foot heel has no control. Foot toes, even less. Hmm. If I were to select this piece of geometry and hide it, and then go to weight painting, aha, we can exclusively paint on this. Okay. It's still messed up, but foot heel should have control over this. Should average it out. Foot heel should probably have full control over the heel. There we go. And then this, well, that's a whole entire different story. As a matter of fact, hold on. I think I've seen some games where the laces actually glitched out when the enemy goes ragdoll and collapses. It had this exact stretching issue with the laces, so I do wonder how they fix it. Maybe use a gradient. Uh-huh. Oh, well, technically right there. Yeah, that could work. As long as it dial it in just right. Okay, we gotta get more experience with this stuff. So, there we go. There's our leg. Okay, now that right there, I'd say that is not quite right. Foot to toes, you have far too much control over the upper foot. Okay, that's what we want. We want to be able to accumulate the effect so that every pass adds up adding to the previous one. I was wondering why the hell does it take forever to blend the brush strokes, blend the smoothness of the weights. There we go. Okay, and then what else do we have? We have leg, lower. Yeah, okay. That is so messed up. Okay. These damn laces. God damn it. I might actually turn this into texture laces. I swear to God. This is not worth it. Hmm. I'm going to try this. For the sake of having an easier to work with searchability in the vertex groups, I'm going to do leg, foot, heel, and then leg, foot, toes. Because then I can just go here, type in leg, and now I got all the vertex groups pertaining to this endeavor. So upper, lower, heel, toes. So hypothetically, heel should have more influence over everything in here. Why can't I paint now? I'm in darken mode. Yeah, okay, there we go. And that will smooth it out. Okay, no toes. This is heel. Heel does not have as much influence over the toes. And then smooth it out. Okay, that is about as right as it's going to get. Leg lower has influence over this bit. Just a little bit of the shoe, of the boot going down. Okay. Now the laces do separate a little bit here. Oh, there we go. That works. Perfect. I guess that makes sense. Okay. Cool. Well, that worked out better than whatever. Oh, never mind. We gotta fix this now. So, weight painting. Okay. That's leg lower territory. That's why. Let's make sure that we only do front faces this time. Okay. And then foot lower. We should subtract it from here. Okay, now hypothetically, this foot should never really go down this much. Oof. Okay, why do the toes have that much influence over the foot? That's not good. The toes have no influence over the foot, of the heel. That's probably why it messes it up so much. Okay. It's an endless cat and mouse game. Okay. So laces removed. I think this looks doable. Yep. Mm-hmm. I might actually just end up doing laces in texture because this seems an awful lot of headache. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay. Oh, hey, hey, come on now. What's with the little rogue warrior vertices over there? Let's get your ass out of there. No, no, little rascals. Okay, so might have to smooth this out. Okay. Yeah, see, this is precisely why you don't want to do all this stuff on a throwaway model because whew, this is a lot of work. What the heck? Wait, meaning. Should probably not be in UV editing while working on this stuff. Yeah, not bad. At least for the time being. Now let's take a look at this guy. I feel like this foot might have handled it a little bit better. Notwithstanding a couple of iffy places. Leg, upper, right. Yeah, I feel like it'll work for the time being. That's fine. Okay. Now, this is inverse kinematics, which means we're working with this. Okay, so we will need to have knee posing abilities. Okay, so to do that, no proportional editing and no connection. And it's a non-deformed bone either. So copy to selected, no connection. Whoops, copy to selected. And then this is root, copy to selected. Oh, come on. There we go. What is it? Knee? Yes. Knee.L. Knee.R. So this is gonna have to point to knee.L. Nice. Boy. Okay. The proximity of apply with the option of apply pose as rest pose is danger close to clear transform all. I've actually accidentally clicked the wrong thing, and instead of clearing all the transforms of all bones, I just applied it as a pose, and then great. Every time I reset the transpose, he goes into this self-collapsing state. Okay, now what's next? So technically, this control bone allows us to move the character like this. So I can, rotate him around in every which way, and he's just gonna follow along. Now, what is this bone? Spine mid. Okay. So we need to make these things. Spine mid. Why do we have two spine lowers? It's probably the control bone. Okay, assign. Well, it's got to be assigned in full full weight. What's weird is that it doesn't want to... Oh, yeah, no. We need to make sure that the armature is in viewable in edit mode. Okay, so we go spine mid, assign it there. Then we go here, spine mid, assign it there. And then we need to remove it from spine lower and spine top. It's still being distorted by something. What? Oh, right, the arm. Okay. Right, so we need to remove it from all the arms. There we go. What else is it being controlled by? Spine lower. You know, wouldn't that be easier if I just... Because it's a solid object. Delete all groups. Add the spine lower group. And then just assign it. Hello? Where are my assignment buttons? Oh, that's search. There we go. There we go. Or spine mid, maybe. There we go. That makes more sense. So, delete all. Yes. Assign. There we go. Okay. So it's a little bit more solid. What do we got here? Here we've got spine lower. So that belt. Okay. I'm not sure why this... Huh. This is being pulled by something else. What is this? Spine lower all 1. Pelvis. Okay, there's a little bit of clipping happening. Alright, well, we know what we need to change now. Lift this up. Okay, there should be no influence of the arms. And we also need to go into the body. Weight painting. Need to smooth this out a little bit. Otherwise it deforms the chest a little bit too much. Okay, now when we move this up, the shoulder technically needs to also lift up like this. And it looks like that should be pretty much good enough as it is. At least for the time being. Okay. I think the neck should have a bit of influence over this strap, the shoulder strap. Technically, it's a solid object, so it shouldn't, but things are going to start clipping if we don't. So let's see. Just going to give it a touch and then smooth it out. Yeah, that doesn't really help. Okay. I don't think we'll ever find the character doing this, so I think we can just ignore it. Now, this helmet should have all of its influence on the head. 100%. And then we gotta fix up the face. God. I'm here to protect the law, the citizens, and the math labs. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to the weight painting. Hide. That's right. If I'm planning to go off grid, I gotta practice my my redneck voice, my redneck accent. Okay. Again, if the head ever goes down to look like this, it's never really just gonna only go down. It's going to like lean forward. And go down this way. I think the neck should have almost pretty much no influence over the head itself. There we go. Otherwise it deforms the face too much. Remember, the face is sitting on top of a skull. And the neck doesn't deform the skull. The skull is a pretty solid object, hopefully. Unless, you know, this guy's been dropped on his head by his mama. Okay. That's good. It's better, at least. Okay, I think the best way to deal with this is to remove all the groups. Okay, I can't press A apparently. Yeah, delete all groups. Add a group. Head. Sign. Nice. Cool. There we go. We got it. I think for the most part, this is everything that we need. Yeah, okay. We'll see what else kind of bugs out when we get closer to the well, into the animation. See what starts bugging out and misbehaving, but I think this should be okay. He came to stop the robbery. Well, I mean, you're not too far off the reality. That's kind of the... He's a generic security guard who's going to be trying to stop us. Man, out of all the favorite games, like all the regular ones, Payday, super, super fun. Seems not so far out of the realm of possibilities with my current skill level. Here's the law! Cut down! He's resisting arrest. He's got a weapon. Okay. Cool. All right. So, that's looking good. That is looking good. So I think what we need to do now is, I guess, set up some walk cycles. We need to set up some walk cycles. And in order to set up some walk cycles, we need some reference footage. Okay, how much time do I have? I got... Oh, man. I have an hour, and I have to do something. So you know what? This is actually a pretty good point where I can take a pause. Maybe come back. Give me like 2 hours. I'll come back and we'll see about setting up some motions. I'll see if I can collect some reference footage off of YouTube. You know, see what everyone has. And yeah, we'll come back and do some animation. See what we can put together with our limited skill set and experience. Yeah, get something going. I need forward motion, backwards motion, sideways motion. And then I'm gonna need a set of poses where the gun is like down, up, left, and right. All right, cool. Well, that's basically it. Should be good. Cool beans. Cool beans, indeed. All right. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate the company. We'll be back.